Hey everyone, and welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Focus. I'm glad you're here, truly, because what we're covering in this episode isn't just another update, it's an analysis of what may be the most critical convergence of indicators you've seen in years. If you're holding Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong, this information isn't just relevant, it's essential for your strategic understanding. We're going to dissect a specific scenario that is generating intense discussion and, more importantly, driving concrete action behind the scenes. A potential valuation range of $3 to $7 per unit. Yes, you heard that correctly. $3 to $7. And what transforms this from mere speculation into a subject of serious analysis is the tangible, logistical preparation currently underway at redemption centers and within allied financial institutions, both domestically and internationally. This isn't about forum whispers or optimistic projections anymore. We are observing measurable investments in time, capital, and operational planning by professional entities who are, by their nature, conservative and risk-averse. They are preparing for the possibility of one of the most significant currency exchange events in modern financial history. So, whether you're a seasoned holder who has navigated a decade of developments, or you're newer to understanding the dynamics of these currencies, this discussion will provide a comprehensive framework. We will explore why this $3 to $7 range represents a specific, calculated threshold in economic terms. We'll examine what preparation at an institutional level actually entails, the sheer scale of it. We'll look at the multi-layered coordination happening between private banks, regulatory bodies, and international networks. And most crucially, we'll outline what this observable activity means for you as an individual holder. Not in terms of hype, but in terms of practical preparedness and strategic positioning. Let's begin. First, we must establish a foundation of context to appreciate the magnitude of this discussion. The Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong have occupied a unique niche in the world of currency investment for well over a decade. They are not typical retail forex trades. They represent a long-term, macroeconomic investment thesis based on national recovery, resource wealth, geopolitical realignment, and fundamental monetary reform. Holders have historically been individuals studying complex indicators, IMF Article 8 compliance, hydrocarbon law legislation, banking sector modernization, and sovereign debt settlements. The wait has been characterized by patience and intense scrutiny of official sources. The conversation around evaluation in the $3 to $7 range is not, in itself, novel. The theoretical models have existed for years. What is unprecedented, however, is the current phase, the transition from theoretical models to observable, institutional operational readiness. To grasp the staggering nature of this potential shift, you must first hold in your mind the current reality. Both currencies trade at values representing tiny fractions of a single U.S. cent. A move to a valuation of $3 is not a percentage increase. It is a geometric, exponential transformation of the base value. For an investor, this represents the difference between a portfolio of banknotes and a life-altering financial event. This is the core of the long-held thesis, and this is the pivotal, but that much of the excitement-driven commentary misses. A revaluation of this magnitude is not a simple digital adjustment. It is a physical, logistical, and systemic earthquake. The numbers on a screen cannot change until the real-world machinery to support that change is built, tested, and put on standby. This is where the concept of the redemption center moves from the background to the center of our analysis. And this is where the evidence of serious preparation becomes impossible to ignore. So, what is a redemption center in this specific context? It is not a standard bank branch. Think of it as a dedicated, high-throughput financial processing facility, often operating under the umbrella of a major bank or specialized financial service provider. These centers are designed to function as the interface during a high-volume currency exchange event. They are built to manage not just transactions, but the immense ancillary processes, bulk verification of note authenticity, handling of high-value cash logistics, intricate compliance reporting, enhanced security protocols, and customer service for individuals processing what may be the largest financial transaction of their lives. They are the front line. According to multiple, corroborating reports from within the financial services sector from individuals involved in logistics, security contracting, and banking operations, these centers are now in an active state of preparation for a scenario where the dinar and dong reach that $3 to $7 window. This preparation is not a contingency plan in a drawer. It is an active, funded project. When institutions commit capital to hire and train specialized staff, to procure and configure high-grade verification equipment, to contract with armored transport services, and to run large-scale system stress tests, they are sending the most credible signal possible. They are acting on a risk-adjusted probability that makes this investment prudent. Banks do not spend significant resources preparing for fairy tales. Let me delineate the concrete pillars of this preparation, because understanding its scope will alter your perspective. First, liquidity and cash management. If a revaluation occurs, the demand for physical U.S. currency will be historic. Redemption centers are not merely ensuring they have sufficient funds in an account, they are engineering complex liquidity chains. This involves pre-negotiated agreements with Federal Reserve distribution channels, secured logistics for transporting extraordinary volumes of cash, and vaulting solutions that go far beyond standard banking capacity. The movement and safeguarding of this volume of physical asset is a military-scale logistical operation, and it is being planned for right now. Second, specialized human capital. A bank teller trained for daily retail operations is not equipped for this environment. Centers are recruiting and training staff in specific, high-stakes competencies, advanced forensic verification of foreign currency notes, managing high-net-worth client interactions, executing complex anti-money laundering protocols under time pressure, and operating specialized counting and verification machinery. They are developing shift patterns and management structures designed for sustained, high-intensity operation. This human infrastructure is being assembled. Third, security architecture. We are talking about facilities that will, in essence, be temporary repositories of billions of dollars in value. The security planning is therefore extraordinary. It integrates layered physical security ballistic barriers, access control labyrinths, cybersecurity for transaction systems, surveillance networks with direct law enforcement links, on-site tactical response teams, and sophisticated counter-surveillance to protect clients. The planning extends to crowd control, appointment scheduling systems to prevent chaotic lines, and secure client egress protocols. This is not a simple upgrade, it is a security redesign. Fourth, technology and system stress testing. The digital backbone must be infallible. Core banking platforms, verification databases, transaction recording systems, and government reporting interfaces are being subjected to load testing scenarios that simulate millions of transactions per day. They are building redundant data pathways and failover systems to ensure zero downtime. The integration between a redemption center system, the parent bank's ledger, and international clearing networks is being hardened. A system crash during such an event is not an option, and the engineers know it. This preparation is notably coordinated. It is not isolated silos of activity. There is communication and protocol alignment happening between different redemption center networks, between these centers and their correspondent banks, between domestic banks and international partners in the financial hubs of Europe and Asia, and crucially, between the private sector and regulatory bodies. This coordination is perhaps the most compelling data point of all. It indicates that the possibility is being gamed out at a systemic level. The financial ecosystem is quietly flexing and reinforcing its muscles for a specific, anticipated strain. Practically, it is a range the system can digest. At $1, the transactional volume might be manageable with standard protocols. At $20, the numbers become astronomically unwieldy. The $3 to $7 window represents a staggering gain for holders enough to be transformational while creating a calculable, though massive, liability that the banking system can prepare to cover with the measures we are seeing. It is a scenario that is both life-changing and operationally preparable. Geopolitical signals also align. Both nations are in advanced stages of financial modernization. Iraq is implementing its digital currency framework and seeking deeper integration with global SWIFT and investment networks. Vietnam is aggressively positioning its currency for greater internationalization to reflect its status as a manufacturing powerhouse. These are not the actions of countries content with a permanently devalued unit of account. The whispers from diplomatic and banking channel suggest these reforms are preconditions for a broader reset, a final alignment of the nominal value with the underlying economic reality. Let me be unequivocal on a critical point. Does this preparation guarantee a revaluation at this range, or any range? No, it does not. Sovereign monetary policy remains the ultimate variable. Unforeseen geopolitical crises, delays in legislative reforms, or shifts in global economic conditions could alter timelines or outcomes. Anyone claiming certainty is not being honest. However, and this is the pivot point of today's analysis, the preparation does guarantee one thing: the professional risk managers within the world's largest financial institutions have assessed the probability of this event as sufficiently high to justify spending millions, and likely tens of millions of dollars on readiness. They are not gambling, they are hedging a calculated, institutional risk. For the individual holder, this is the most significant environmental indicator you can have. So, what does this mean for your personal strategy? It creates a new paradigm of validated preparedness. First, it should affirm the seriousness of your due diligence. This is no longer a niche belief. It is a scenario for which the mainstream financial infrastructure is actively preparing. Second, it sharply raises the stakes for your own operational readiness. The institutions are getting their house in order. You must ensure yours is as well. This means conducting a personal audit. Locate your holdings. Ensure they are in secure, environmentally controlled storage. Document them denominations, series, quantities. Understand the difference between authentic, current series notes and obsolete or suspect ones, as redemption centers will perform forensic level checks. Research and identify the specific redemption centers or bank programs you would consider using. Understand their stated procedures, fee structures, and documentation requirements. Do not wait for an announcement to begin this research. The most reputable centers may have enrollment or verification processes that take time. Critically, engage a qualified tax advisor familiar with foreign currency and potential windfall events. The tax implications of a revaluation in this range are profound and complex, involving potential ordinary income treatment, capital gains, and state-level obligations. A proactive strategy, potentially involving trusts or other structures, must be considered well in advance of any transaction. The goal is to preserve wealth, not just to acquire it. There is also a psychological dimension that must be managed. After a long wait, evidence of preparation can trigger emotional volatility, either euphoria or heightened anxiety. You must compartmentalize this. Your decision-making framework must remain clinical. Do not make impulsive financial decisions in your personal life based on unrealized gains. Do not liquidate other sound assets or take on debt in anticipation. The institutional preparation is a signal to ensure your personal infrastructure is ready, not a signal to leverage your entire existence on a specific timing. Patience must now partner with precision. Consider, too, the international dimension of your potential action if you are located outside the United States. Understand how your domestic banking laws and tax treaties will interact with a major currency exchange. The coordination we see is global, but your local regulations will apply to you. Proceed with the same level of due diligence on your home soil. Regarding the eternal question of when, the preparation suggests a horizon that is now within operational planning cycles, typically quarters, not decades. Institutions plan for events on a 1-2-3 year operational horizon. That does not mean it will happen within that window, but it does mean the probability is now high enough to trigger budget allocations and project timelines. For you, this translates to a state of sustained readiness, not daily frenzy. In summary, the discussion of a $3 to $7 valuation for the dinar and dong has moved from the theoretical to the logistical. The massive, coordinated preparation at redemption centers is a tangible, observable fact within the financial sector. It represents the single most credible external validation of the revaluation thesis that has ever occurred. It tells us that sophisticated actors with access to the best information are treating this as a plausible, high-impact scenario. Your role is now to mirror that preparedness at an individual level. Secure your assets, educate yourself on the processes, plan for the financial and tax consequences, manage your psychology. This is no longer just about waiting. It is about being ready to execute a complex financial transaction with calm, efficiency, and wisdom when and if the call comes. The environment has shifted. The signal is in the infrastructure. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay disciplined. This is Dinar today, providing you with the context behind the headlines. If this analysis adds value to your strategy, please support the channel, subscribe for ongoing, clear-eyed assessment, but more importantly, take action on your personal preparedness plan. Be ready.